Our next guest says striking a balance between what's good for employers and workers lies in ending the current abuses of endo or end of contract. With us now for more on Outside Looking In is Rex Daryanani of the Federation of the Indian Chambers of Commerce. Good to have you back on, Rex. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kathy.
So the president's opposition to the bill that he vetoed really lies in the definition of labor-only contracting. So what sort of definition should there be in order to make it fair for both workers and employers?
We think that instead of calling it labor-only contracting, it really needs to be called labor outsourcing. So 99.6% of businesses are small and medium-scale enterprises, and this whole group employs 65% of labor. And because of their very nature, right, they are subjected to highs and lows of demand, and they are unable to sustain regularizing their employees all the time. And this is why we have this endo problem, where at 5 months they cut them out because they're unable to regularize employees. By outsourcing labor to a company that is properly capitalized, that has a pool of workers, these MSMEs now will be able to draw on employees as they need it, right? So they're not bound to regularize employees even if their demand shifts on a regular basis.
That makes a lot of sense. So why did they get the phrase wrong in the first place? In your opinion, it should be labor outsourcing and not labor-only contracting.
Correct. That's where we're coming from. And it makes sense because clearly if demand, say in the regular products that you see in department stores and non-fast-moving consumer goods, right, you really cannot predict the demand for these products. And there is a need for companies to have that flexibility to increase and decrease workers as they need it.
So did I get it right that what needs to be addressed and regulated is not the aspect of fixed term or contractual employment, but the work conditions and the fairness to the laborers themselves by the employers?
Correct. So what's really sad in the Philippines is that an employee can work for a company, say, for 10 years, and he tenders his resignation and he loses his retirement benefit, right? And he starts from scratch again. And this is what we feel really is the issue on security of tenure, where employees need to have that confidence that wherever they go, even if they jump jobs, they will get that retirement benefit for the number of years that they worked, thus our proposal.
So it's security of benefits, pay levels, and work conditions.
That's right.
These should all be assured in the one that's being revised right now, the Security of Tenure bill.
Absolutely.
Now you're proposing something different, but it's something that the U.S. is very well known by. It's called the portability.
Correct. So
I mean, how does that work out, and how will it work in a system like the Philippines?
Okay, so we're proposing the creation of a portable retirement fund, where an employee, regardless of their casual, their temporary, probationary, or regular, will have access to a retirement fund building up even if they work for 1 month. So where the employer at every payroll would already allocate a certain percentage of the employee's salary into a fund. The employee would have the flexibility of contributing to that fund as well.
So this is apart from the Social Security system.
Absolutely.
You're going to build a totally different fund
Absolutely.
that builds from the first day of work.
Correct. And as the employee contributes to that as well, this gets remitted to a government agency, maybe the central bank, that manages this fund, right? And the employee has access to this fund now if he gets disabled prior to retirement or upon retirement. This guarantees the employee that wherever he goes for however long he works, he's able to build this fund for his retirement. In exchange, all right, companies that would offer this package to employees would now have the flexibility of hiring and terminating poor performing employees. Performance has to come into the picture here, work ethics and skill set, right? And this we feel will encourage employees to now work harder and improve their skill sets. So that's where you create the balance, where while we protect the interests and the security of the employee, we also get to address the need for companies to be flexible.
So are you now speaking with the lawmakers about this proposal? I mean, how are you getting this across as it's now being reworked?
Right. So we are sending out our position paper again. We've sent this out a couple of years ago, and we're going to...
It was ignored?
Well, I think there was too much focus on the word contractualization at that time and the word endo. And as the president correctly pointed out, the focus needs to be on the removal of the abuse That's where really the problem is. And businesses will always find ways to cut costs and stay efficient. We have robots coming in, artificial intelligence, and the sooner we realize that we need to give business that flexibility, I think overall the labor conditions will improve. I must point out, we send overseas contract workers abroad, ROFWs. Filipinos are the best workers in the world, most especially when they're abroad. Abroad, they can get terminated anytime. And they know this, and they work on improving their skill set. And it's actually a win-win when they're abroad. If we can duplicate that in the Philippines, we think that it'll be a great boost to our economy, where our employees actually perform really well.
All right. Well, let us know what happens to your suggestion when that bill is reworked. Thank you so much for joining us. Rex Daryanani of the Federation of the Indian Chambers of Commerce here in the studio.